Hey everybody, welcome back to New Jang City, where I've got some good progress on that apartment building. It's been going slow, but steady, and I've been happy with the rate of progress because I've been happy with the way that things have been turning out. Not quite as expected, but expectations were limited given the fact that I didn't have a plan for this in the first place. So as you see, I've begun work on that second floor. The first floor, the ground floor, was closed off pretty completely and mostly tiled off across the top of it. And then I put in the the second floor plan, which includes the ceiling for the ground floor. I put a quick update photograph up on Instagram just to show you how that started. It has actually changed in shape a number of times since I put that photo up, but it's still following the same basic idea with a lot of overlap. So you see how the apartment building itself is actually quite a bit larger than it initially appeared. So this is creating all of this overhang, which will have to have pillars of some sort beneath it to help hold it up, mostly for in-universe believability purposes, and parking will be back here. Got the entrance to the lobby from the parking accommodation back there, and you can also get in from the street. And up here on this next floor, I've added in the pool, or most of what will be the pool, and this has a little bit of a different shape to it rather than just being fully rectangular and rather than being completely rounded off in one side. I told you I wanted to stay away from curves, so I just brought in something a little bit different for a shape to try to avoid anything looking too regular. Try to hold this with one hand with the camera here, but I want to show you how this angle was done here, this strange angle. All of this is not really attached. It's kind of pinned in place with some protrusions around different parts. It holds itself in place well enough. There we go. But it's not actually attached because it has some strange angles. I just took advantage of the geometry of round 1x1 bricks. It's a fairly common technique for creating weird curves to alternate between regular rectangular bricks and round ones. And I did that for an outer border for the whole place, and I used the Transys green, which is mostly 2x2 bricks from the Minecraft sets. They use those for trees a lot, and that just helps to keep in some of the more earthy, more organic tones for the color scheme for this. It keeps it warm in a way, I guess. I don't know, just not looking too synthetic. But then I did want the water to be nice and bright and to look like a nice pool, nice place where people would want to go and they would feel refreshed just looking at it. So I gave it a proper pool liner, which is semi-realistic in a way to the way that pools are built, but that's just built with mostly regular bricks with just the round brick in the corner technique, and medium azure. Put down tiles of white down below to make sure it doesn't get too dark, and this will be filled up with 1x1 and 1x2 tiles, and that'll allow me to partly submerge some people in there and stuff like that. And there's a little bit of deck here. I'll try to get a little bit of furniture around the back. Got some railing there. And I think it's going to look okay for the minifigures. I think they'll be happy to be able to come back here and get a view out towards the water, ocean or whatever it's supposed to be. A little bit of the edge of the beach over the sides of these barrier walls protecting the train tracks. And as I mentioned previously, noise is a thing. And if you look at Lego building too realistically, you will find that everything is wrong. So here, I've got trains everywhere, so there is no safe space to be away from the noise of trains and traffic and trucks and cars and everything and helicopters going around. So just imagine that in the near future soundproofing materials and techniques will be much better. So these people who live here will still be able to have nice, peaceful lives. The floor plan here is showing my initial design or my initial thoughts after doing a little bit of Tetris slash Rubik's Cube kind of work, moving things around quite a bit, considering necessary areas and trying to make it make a little bit of sense from the perspective of minifigures. So this is the elevator shaft area, and that's going to go down to the ground floor, or it's going to have that same space reserved on the ground floor and also on the next floor up. I'm still planning to stick to a total of 3 floors. And then I wanted to keep the entrance ways. So this is an entrance to one, entrance to another, 3 apartments here in total. Wanted to keep those as far as tongue twisted, as far as reasonably possible away from the elevator, but this one is still close. And that's just the type of thing that you will see from time to time in real apartment buildings. You know, there will be one that's a little bit closer to the elevator, but still try to inset the door a little bit so there's a little bit of distance and privacy, I guess, from there. You know, somebody going into their apartment from the elevator while the elevator is still open, someone else is in there. You know, person in the elevator won't see too much inside that apartment. But these are going to be really constricted, cramped spaces. They're going to have to really make careful use of space. I think I can fit everything that I need into these to make them full-fledged studio apartments with a little bit of living room space, a kitchenette, a little bit of bathroom with a shower, and some space to sleep for each. This one back here is awkwardly rectangular, which makes it the easiest but the least interesting to look at. It's just the way it worked out. I didn't want to do angled walls in the interior. Don't know why. Just kind of felt like sticking to something a little bit simpler. I think it'll work out. I think it'll actually make good use of the space. This is not a great use of space over here, but it's kind of necessary. Just the walkway that lets people get out to the deck and the pool. And this is, keep in mind, a space that will also be, or this walkway will also be used by folks who don't live on this floor. So it's important that there be enough room. And it's just kind of how it worked out with the space. I guess I could probably pull this wall back by 1 stud. It's not going to help too much, and I did want to have enough width to the walkways so that wouldn't feel too constrained. I could kind of pull this wall out in this direction by 1 stud as well. That might help a little bit, but not all that much. And this is not final where the suggestions of the walls will go, but it's pretty close, and I think it's going to work out. And then the final floor above this is not going to have the exact same plan because you won't need to use up all of this space here to get to the next, to get to the outside area, the recreation area, shared recreation area, because there won't be one. There won't be a pool on the next floor. The walls will come up here. And I haven't decided exactly how I'm going to shape that next floor as yet. I'm actually a little bit disappointed that I ended up with a fairly symmetrical design as viewed from the front, other than the protrusion for the overhang there, and also the pool. But it's not exactly symmetrical, but it's close enough that you have to look very carefully to notice that it's not. And that's not exactly what I was going for initially, but we'll see how I can adjust to that. I definitely made that decision consciously as I worked on different possibilities for the design here. And I think that it's good to have a couple of balconies for those 2 apartments there. I might figure out a way to add a balcony on the back as well for the rectangular apartment in the back. Might be a way to prevent that area from looking too regular, but also having these angled border edges. I don't know what you even call that, the dark red here, having those angled in, I think will help to break things up and avoid the appearance of just a rectilinear design. And also that next floor can be different. It can break the mold a little bit. The idea has always been to have all 3 floors being unique in their exterior design with their exterior walls. And I think that the little bit of angle on the pool helps to change things up a bit as well. And also the overhang beneath it, kind of comes out towards the train tracks and then has a different angle on this side and then has yet a different angle over here. So I think it's going to look different and unique enough. But I do wish I had been able to be more successful at creating a non-symmetrical design for the front at that second level there. Well, we'll see how it works out. I also still need to figure out how I'm going to alternate colors around and if I'm going to do a different thing for the color for the topmost one. I don't want to break the color scheme too much, but I don't want it to be too obvious and straightforward, hence the switch from white in the middle at the base to white on the sides. I'm probably not going to go back to white in the middle. I mean, I've introduced the gray here. I'll probably use some of the gray around the back as well. But I kind of want to see about using more of the nougat color. We'll see how that works out. Definitely not going to do anything too bright. I've kind of established the overall scheme here. But this is what I've done so far. It's going definitely slower than I would have liked originally, but I'm not unhappy with it this time. So like I said at the beginning, I am happy with the direction it's going, with just how it is definitely working. It's working for me. And, it definitely will not be working for a lot of people. A lot of folks won't like some of the shapes, some of the specific things, color scheme, lack of realism, too much realism, maybe in some cases. I don't know, probably mostly lack of realism. A lot of things a lot of people won't like, and that's okay. I'm happy with it, and I know a lot of viewers have been happy with seeing progress on custom stuff, so that's good, and I'm just glad to be able to share this. So, sorry I don't have a whole lot to show you in the way of action and little details and things, but this is just where things are right now. I'm kind of taking my time with it, spending a little more time doing things that are not just related to YouTube right now, just because that's kind of how my brain patterns are working right now, and it's helping me to stay creative and to not get frustrated when I reach really weird problems, which I've encountered many of them with this so far, and I'll surely do more, but I'll keep you posted, and I appreciate you sticking around and checking out what I do. If you don't like these custom videos, and definitely don't force yourself to watch them, but the next reviews will be done the next time I have more stuff to review. I do have some older sets, so I might build some older ones just to kind of intersperse a little bit. I think it's always good to keep some variety going, but this is my main Lego interest right now, and I will continue with this until it's in done for now state. I do not plan to switch to other custom builds and drag this out too long. So that's that for now. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.